Hey everybody, welcome back to Visions, Veiled and Violent. Last episode, our band of intrepid heroes raced into the woods outside the Carnevale to track down the murderers from Luthander's vision, hoping to stop the culprits before they could kill the two elderly persons he had seen. Espying both the elderly figures and the would-be assassins, the zatis launched their own preemptive ambush. Although my character, the nimble spell-dancer halfling Nevitz, was knocked unconscious during the melee, the rest of the hanataz were able to carry the day and kill the murderous trio before they could harm the clergy members. While the elderly couple appreciated the aid of the party, their general prejudices toward the hanataz made any meaningful connection between the two groups all but impossible. Nonetheless, in addition to escorting the couple to recover the body of their murdered colleague, the party promised its services to search for clues at the church to possibly explain why the Smugglers Guild wanted to kill the priests in the first place.
And so the woods are eerily quiet as you stand amidst the desolation of the most recent combat with the stunned and thankful yet slightly closed-minded elderly priest and priestess there. Grateful for your aid, still not quite comfortable with your affiliations and background, but nonetheless glad to not be dead, since you did thwart the plot that would have most likely claimed their lives. So, to the young zatis, what is your move?
Well, I'm going to take a big drag out of my cigar first. I'm still covered in blood with my lucky axe. I'm just going to take another big drag of my cigar and inspect these two prejudices.
As we're moving towards the creek to pick up the body of the third person that we believe to be dead down there, I think Nevitz is rolling around in his head whether or not we should even take on the risk of trying to get into these cleric's church to try to figure out what the plot is, because he just is thinking about the stigma that he knows is going to come across if we try to enter the town as hanataz.
So it is about 4 bells now, so especially in the winter, the sun is starting to get a little low in the sky, not quite to where it's touching the trees, but that does mean mercifully that your shift is almost over, which would relieve you of your zati duties for the day.
Can I whisper to my companions as we're doing our thing and just say to them, hey, we saved their lives. We did a good deed. We've done a lot of good deeds today. Our shift is almost over. Do we really need to go into town? We can go tomorrow morning when we are well rested and prepared for what may lie ahead.
Well, I agree that we should not go.
I share your thoughts more. Initially I wanted to get to the bottom of this mystery, but I fear these are not going to be the supporters that we require in order to get through the stigma that will find us if we get to the town. Maybe it is better for us to search the creek site where we might find evidence and make our departure from this town.
I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. And I wonder, though, whether there might be something there that would help us keep the Blue Viel Troupe safe, or safer overnight. There's some pretty nasty stuff happening. But maybe we do it a different way.
To be fair, townies ain't got nothing good for me.
Yeah, they're the worst. I mean, and most of us are, I look over to Jericho, maybe not the most approachable when entering a town where we already have a bad reputation.
Jericho, coughs on the cigar smoke. She, fixes her hair.
Well, I'm happy to go in and... I could sneak in and see what I could see, but...
I mean, the option could be for Moore and Luthander to go, since you are the least conspicuous.
Do I have to?
Moore loves a random adventure as well.
Yay!
But to be fair, and GM Nate, just so you're tracking, we are back behind where the old people can't hear us because old people can't hear. As we're discussing our plot, I don't know what there's to gain beyond the the knowledge we already have, which is this smuggling ring obviously wanted this church for its facilities. Unless we think there's going to be some hidden door that leads us to some labyrinth below the city, I don't know what we might find of import, and I truly doubt that there's a hidden cave that's going to happen. I would like to take our time to find out what magical properties these various findings that we've already uncovered might have, as I feel there are some perhaps more pressing concerns that we must answer before we leave on the morrow. And actually, from what we hear from the council, we might be striking tents tonight and leaving as soon as possible to avoid any wrongdoings. I just feel there are mysteries that I know we've told the Bonduran Council, but I don't even know that they fully appreciate how pressing this is.
Mystery is pressing.
Well, brother, I think it's better us stick with the family rather than adventure on our own. At least for now. We're running low on stamina. Hell, a couple of us aren't even useful in range right now.
Well, Luthander is just relaxing, leaning on his staff and thinking, and just says, you know what? I'll do whatever. I just haven't had a chance to have a good sneak around today, and I do like having a sneak around a dangerous or potentially dangerous location. But I take your point. Maybe we just escort them close to town, and we do we just see what we can get from an information perspective from them. And
in the side of the creek, Nevitz, I think he would have already, again, whispered this to his colleagues. Nevitz wants to walk up to the old couple and perhaps he probably looks at least threatening. He definitely looks at least threatening. He kind of puts his hand up to clasp the hand of the old man, the old woman. Says, please, we have not yet seen the body of your colleague, and I would hate to have you walk upon it if the sight is more gory than needs be. If it is okay, I'd like to send my friends ahead just to make sure we can emotionally prepare you if it's something that's completely disfigured him. If you would give them but a moment to make sure there's nothing untoward when they find the body. Nevitz will try to sit there and console, buying time for Luthander and Moore and Jericho and Adwale to loot the body.
I think I'm going to take a cue.
Sounds like a great persuasive speech there, which it probably is due for a persuasion check, if you would, Nevitz.
Do you think my theatrics were enough to call upon performance? I'm seeing the no in your face. Okay.
It's kind of an oratory.
If you can add a rhyming couplet, I'll allow it.
Can I give him guidance? He needs this.
Do it. Go for it, please.
I would have preferred you gave me a rhyming couplet, but I'll take the guidance. The body up front might be a fright, and so if it would be all right, I would like to send my friends ahead to look upon the face of the dead first.
Make your roll. You earned it.
As a 4 on the die. Do you want to roll a 4-sided die for me, Kendra? Give me good guidance.
God. Okay.
Oh, dear.
4.
Okay, then with your 4, that brings it up to a 14 total.
And so as Nevitz lays out his masterful performance to the old priests and the priestess, you see that Umbre, the old man, leans down and he puts a old weathered hand on Nevitz's shoulder and says, "Oh, charming lad, we are well acquainted with the known hanataz custom of stealing bodies and grinding them for their sausages, but if you promise that you will only go ahead for a moment or two, then we can take the body back ourselves to ensure the sanctity of the corpse."
Nevitz winces when the hand is rested on his shoulder, and he listens to the whole speech. And says, "I'm sorry, I understand your fears. You touched upon the battle wound from saving your life. Yes, it will be but a moment."
"Oh, yes, please then, carry on." And as the man smells like the worst grandpa, like mothball smell.
So as I'm assumably, are they distracted?
Yeah, the check passed. So they're distracted.
Okay, so I'm like looting the body, and I like look up at more and summon like really tiny text like, that guy just called us cannibals.
Yeah.
Right.
They
You
suck.
gotta do what you gotta do to survive.
So
Wait,
let's loot the body
what?
with a flourish now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Question it.
yeah, wait, you gotta do what you gotta do to survive.
Don't
Yeah, and we're like,
question it.
can we unpack that maybe? a
Moving
little
on,
bit?
we're gonna
talk
go
that one
ahead
through.
and
Raise your hand if you've never cannibalized somebody. More raises her hand.
Luthander, hand up. Yep. This is a great use of time as well. We're doing well.
Yeah,
Oh,
Nevitz,
yeah.
Nevitz and Adwale have had this conversation in the past. Fortunately, I'm not there to hear it, but we've agreed to disagree on the pros and cons of protein consumption.
So let's
Did.
put that one to the side for now,
Mm-hmm.
and let's loot some bodies. Or
All right, who's the lead looter on this? This might be important.
Not I.
I think I'm there currently.
yeah, I think so.
Okay then. Give me a sleight of hand roll, please, Jericho.
Okay. That's a 15 plus something. That's a dirty 20.
yes.
That's some high quality looting.
So, as you rifle through this mutilated old man's body, you find first not much. Barely 3 sylves. There's a little folded over scroll of some daily prayers incantations that's been soaked through with blood and is now illegible. But then you find that it's just there in the very bottom of his pocket. You find a pouch that appears to be full of some sort of leafy substance.
Wait a minute, what kind of leafy substance? What's it smell like?
Make a nature check.
Okay. Does it smell really good? That's a 4. I don't think I have anything of that. I
So
don't think I
so-
know what this is.
So Jericho, as you open up this pouch, it just looks like a bunch of dried leaves, like someone who's like collected grass clippings at the bottom of this pouch. That he is very, very well made, like this handsome red leather pouch that was tied securely. This just looks to be full of dried, crumbled herbs, but it doesn't smell like dead grass. It smells amazing.
When we started our walk, it was 4 bells. Would you say it's about 4 bells 20 right now?
Getting there,
God.
getting there, real close.
So, yes, thank you. Well, so you can
That
give
was-
that to Moore, who's our resident nature expert.
Yeah. I totally know leaves. Give it over here. Let me.
Animals, plants.
I mean,
Talk to plants as well. I don't know.
okay. Well, that's just a little offensive. All right, but I can take a look.
I give it to her, give her a little proffer it.
Or if you would make a nature check to see if you can identify this.
Let's see. What is my nature? 11.
So, much like Jericho, you can tell that whatever this is, it's definitely not local. You have not seen any plants of this like anywhere nearby. So that is quite strange in itself. And although you don't know exactly what kind of plant this does smell really, really good.
Well, I've identified that it is probably cooking seasoning.
When did this group become
I'm
innocent
convinced.
children? Like that was not my take on this pack of individuals. But okay,
My stomach is grumbling when I hear food. I'm like, ugh. Gurgles.
Ooh.
Well, so we've looted. Let's. Are we going to walk
yeah. So
walk them to the edge of town and maybe ask some more questions?
to play out the facade, I will ask Adwale if he's willing and able to lift up the dead body, and we will carry it to the outskirts of town before, again, we acknowledge to this old couple based on the need to keep good people like yourself separate from hanataz like us. We will take you to the limits of the city, but from there, we will leave you to carry him the rest of the way if that is acceptable.
The old woman smiles. She'll lean down and pinch Nevitz's cheeks. Oh, what a thoughtful young man. It's so very kind of you both to be concerned for our well-being, to make it home safely, and also not to sully the town with your presence.
Can I do a perception on whether or not they have any pouches on them that I can try to put Luthander onto?
Yeah, give a perception check.
Ooh, 18.
Yeah, so the old man does look like he has like a slung over pouch off to his left side on his hip.
Yeah, so using Hanataz sign cant, which I just invented that. Hopefully that actually exists in GUI Cube, but Luthander and I have a sign. I'm just like, this target needs to go down as I let him pinch my cheek and continue to walk, trying to distract them with jovial conversation of the playful little halfling who amuses people.
I will make the pre-arranged sign that I also just made up to Jericho for additional distraction in the hope that the GM will give us advantage for this roll.
It's a good enough retcon that I'm going to let it ride.
Right.
I will say, though, just for those who may think that the GM is just having a particularly puerile moment, that it is, in fact, on page 14 of the book in Darkest Dream that GUI Cube themselves put in the medicinal herbs. So you can blame that for them, and please send all hate mail to GUICube.com to let them know exactly how you feel. Please continue, Luthander.
No hate mail from us. So I am going to try and pick their pockets and steal the pouch. Sleight of hand, I assume. 8.
Sleight of hand, yes.
8 on the die plus 4 is 12. And a 15.
15 total or 15 on the die?
15 total. 11 plus 4. Thank you. I'm hoping that's enough.
Did you roll twice? Did you get guidance from Jericho? Oh.
I think I'm going to blow
advantage.
smoke into this guy's face for my cigar. That's what I'll do.
We had advantage. So I rolled
that's
twice.
a suitable distraction, I think.
Wait, can I roll
Leave
4 times if I get guidance?
No, that's not a thing.
I would give
Right.
you guidance despite the gods, but I don't know. You guys are robbing them, so.
Yeah. Okay.
Would have been nice.
Yeah.
It's just the thought of guidance that counts.
Mm-hmm.
Except not mechanically, of course. You don't get that bonus. So as you're walking along, to Jericho, to having to let a stray puff go in the old man's face, and you just goes, as Lathander manages to go and just discreetly slip that pouch off the old man's shoulder and into his own waiting palm.
Jericho, we've been walking a very long time. Please remove the smoke. We would not want to make this more enduring, more of a hard sake for our compatriots.
This is why the old woman just gives Nevitz a little pat in the head and says, "Oh, it's quite all right, lad. We know that such foul odors help the hanataz since they're so accustomed to these smells. We like to think that we're trying to be as accommodating as possible to you people."
I give her a glare as I'm grinding my cigar out on the butt of my axe. And then I wipe the blood off of the blade in my jerkin.
Sir, madam, you have been far more hospitable than someone of your station should be to the likes of us, but I think we've gone as close to town as we would want to, lest someone see you in our presence. If it is all right, we will leave you with your colleague's body here as we will depart. If you ever need to find us again, we obviously welcome you down to our lowly station at the Carnevale, but if there's any information you want to pass to us, we will be leaving possibly tonight. So if there's anything you think we should know, please let us know at your soonest convenience.
Or if you need help, maybe you should pray to your god. Maybe they'll come to help you, rescue you.
Yes, young lady, the gods do always provide. After all, they sent you.
I sent me. But
Can I check? I mean, do they seem legit? I mean, we kind of checked this before, but are they GM? Do they seem to be putting this on?
Putting on in what way?
Do they really? I suppose. Do they not want us to? Do we get the sense they just don't want us in town, or they don't want us to go to their church to investigate?
You're welcome to roll an insight check if that makes you feel better, but they are genuine, albeit not particularly hanataz friendly people.
Oh, okay. Thank you. That's okay.
And so as the group prepares to depart, see the elderly woman just wave with a big smile, say, "We're so glad to see that you'll be leaving tomorrow. Best of travels to you wherever you go. If you ever come back to Nevermore, of course you're not welcome in the town, but we'll be sure to at least tell Lord Odal about your kindness today."
Yes, our only regret is that we will not get a chance to be in the presence of Lord Odal before we depart. Unless you believe there's any chance he might find himself on the outside where we might go and show our gratitude for him allowing our caravan to stop for a short time in your beautiful city.
And the old priest chuckles and says, "Oh, no. That young man has far more important things to do than get his boots dirty in the hanataz carnivalle. I mean, he has just people to go and do such errands for him. So, but of course, having a powerful and righteous man know of your deeds can only bring good luck to you. So we'll be sure to let him know that you, the hanataz, were the one to save our lives and help retrieve the body of our friend and not turn him into sausage as is your custom."
Madam, although we do appreciate such kind words on our behest, again, I fear what it would do to all that you do through your teachings to bring the goodly values of your God to all parishioners. I would not like to see your name besmirched with ours upon it. So, if it is all right, it is enough for us to know that you appreciate what we have done.
The old priest smiles. You are one of the clever ones. And he nudges the old woman with his elbow and says, "See, I told you some of them could be clever in that sort of hanataz way. Here, lad, let me give you a copper for your troubles," as he goes to reach for the pouch.
No! I refuse. We cannot take money for doing good works. It is enough that we are allowed to help those who bring the teachings of the goodly gods to the people. I know we are beneath you, but it does besmirch what we stand for if you would throw coin at our good deeds. Just know that we walk in the light of knowing that goodness comes to those who bring goodness into the world.
Moore is latched on to Adewale's arms, digging her fingernails into his arms, doing anything she can to not lunge at these priests and just let Nevitz talk up a good show.
Can I use minor illusion to make his eyes sparkle? Because he has the best of intentions. I want to make him look really cute.
You want to give him like anime girl eyes?
Little hearts and not a lot, just a little bit.
Oh my god!
Dimples appear where they were not before.
Yes, exactly.
Little cat whiskers.
Sure.
I think that's very appropriate.
I'm gonna do that.
So that both of them, the old man and the old woman, both ooh and ah, as they see Nevitz's eyes glow with a supernatural goodness, and the old woman smiles and says, "Oh, your words, they mean so much, especially coming from someone like you." And the old man nods sagely and says, "Yes, we are blessed to be civilized folk and to worship respectable gods. But your faith and piety means that perhaps even your strange hanataz patron gods show some light of goodness in you."
All right, it's time to go. You scatter. We go home.
Luthander,
go away.
Yeah. That's it. Luthander's just shaking his head.
Nevitz
Just
bows.
trying
And by the way, for the last 2 minutes of conversation, all of my colleagues could see Nevitz wringing his fists behind his back as he faces these two bigots with twinkling eyes and dimpled cheeks. And he just backs away, turns. And as soon as they can't see us, I recommend we move to a fast walk.
Well, can I just say one thing, if I can, before we leave? I say we're not very we're not very skilled, but those people who were trying to kill you, we know they've been picking pockets as well, all over the place. We've heard rumors of them, so if you're missing anything, we're good at searching. So you let us know. We can help you try and find it. But I'd hate to think that those ruffians not only tried to kill you, but could have taken anything from your church or from your colleagues.
I just want to point out that Luthander's like the only one there talking right now, and he's just like selling himself out.
We're all leaving, and he's like behind. He's like explaining.
Yeah. That's it. And then I'm.
Luthander turns around. We are at least 50 meters past.
I'm leaning on the staff. I'm missing the show. Everyone left. Jeez.
And as Luthander bids the elderly couple a farewell, the old man nods sagely once more and says, "We appreciate your concern, you strange, gaunt, probably unwashed young fellow. But I think that the good folk of Nevermore will be sure to tend to us now that you've brought us back to civilization. But on your travels, wherever they may go, hopefully far away, best of luck to you." And as he says best of luck, he takes a half step backwards, and the heel of his foot hits a root that causes him to fall over backwards, rip open the seam in his trousers, and let out an enormous...
Okay.
I have never loved that dagger so much in my life.
I'll see you later, man.
You gonna help him up or just leave him there?
Leave him.
I'm out. See ya.
So Hanazati's back on the trail. Yeah, what is the group's plan now?
Oh my
Peace out.
god!
Their faith in the gods restored completely in one moment.
I'm crying.
As we're walking back, I would look up to Adwale. Adwale, if you are willing, please throw me upon your shoulders. Luthander, I know Moore has identified that there is magic within your blade. On the walk back, I would love to figure out exactly what magics that might be so we can see if they are worth the risk of you continuing to wield it.
Go for it.
Oh my god, okay.
Nate, I would like to do a ritual cast, since I'm out of real spells, of Identify and do it on both the 2 potions and the dagger. I think that's the only thing we've identified that's been magical.
So if that's easy enough. As you travel through, bouncing along on Adwale's shoulders while everyone else winds their way back the forest trail towards the camp, you are able to identify some of the sources of these magics going on. So it appears that this dagger that Lathander stumbled onto is, in fact, ensorcelled with a strange attunement, that it seems to be linked to an arcane eye spell. So it looks like someone has sorcelled the dagger so that the dagger can see what something else can see, but it's unclear what exactly the link is or what it's linked to. But it seems like this is the linkage to a device that's been spying throughout the camp.
And do I get the sense that the wielder of the dagger can do the viewing, or that the creator of the dagger could do the viewing through the dagger? Like, I know that Luthander has viewed. Oh, it's Fiendhawk.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's it.
All right, Nate. Do I get the sense, based on what I heard from Luthander, that this is tied to that mechanical hawk? Like, that vision just makes sense.
That does indeed make sense.
Have we got a minute to stop so I can try holding it again?
Sure
Just
do.
see what happens.
Yeah, once I'll do the potions on a separate casting.
Yeah,
I bring the whole group to a stop, and I explain exactly what I believe. The spell that is upon this, the divination magic that was seen by Moore was not just that of the divine, but divination itself. It could peer through the ether, as it were. And based on what you've discussed on how you saw that, Luthander, I believe that this dagger is tied to that clockwork hawk, and that in fact what you see is what they see. So the 3 people that we killed, if this is correct, and as he hands the dagger to Adewale to hand down, since otherwise I'd have to throw it, is that perhaps they were the ones viewing us as we walked to the well, which would definitely say that the people who were trying to kill these priests were also the ones who cut our rope.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there. Let's see if I can have a gander through that. I'm gonna get I'm gonna hold the dagger, pull the dagger out. Well, it's not even anything, but I'm gonna hold it, unsheath it, whatever I have to do. See if something will happen.
So as you unsheath the dagger, you feel that sudden connection, like this crackling in your retina as you're being able to see the projection of something else beyond you. Make a wisdom save for me real quick.
That is 13 on the die, plus 3 for 16.
There you go. Perfect. So, you feel your visions flow through this creature, this construct, from the dagger to the source, where indeed you find this thing that disguised as a red-tailed hawk in what appears to be some sort of ruin, a place of decay and rot that seems like it's been deliberately destroyed at some point, but it still maintains this almost skeletal edifice that still clings to the countryside. And within this ruin, where you can see the gaps and you can see the sky in some places with the horizon and the sun starting to get low, you can see this mechanical hawk perched upon an arm. And the arm is clad in a long, thick black leather glove going all the way up to the elbow. But the make is something you haven't seen before. It's not local. It doesn't even look like something you would find in Verdestia, that you've seen it in any of your travels with the hanataz. And the emblems on it look strangely ritualistic, as if the sewing of the pattern that put this falconry glove together was intended specifically for some religious purpose. And as you're taking in this view, you hear a woman's voice whisper, "Oh, so you're a clever Shazat, or perhaps just a lucky one. Either way, enjoy your victory. It won't last long." And then you can see the pinch of a finger and thumb reach up towards the mechanical hawk's eye, and the link is broken and your senses are back to your own.
Wow, okay. And I will relay all of that to everyone and suggest that can Nevitz check the dagger again to see whether has that link been broken? I mean,
I believe more your ability to detect magic would be a better indicator. We can both ritual cast at the same time. If you want to do detect, I will bring up identify again.
Sure, why not?
You spend 10 more minutes along the trail, drawing upon the Xanthus, flow your natural magical energies, where Moore can find that the dagger, while still elegantly made and finely crafted, is now simply an inert, normal dagger.
Having burnt the casting time, what are the 2 potions, Nate?
Is an excellent question. So, one of the potions is actually not a potion at all, but a vial of oil of slipperiness. So you can cover a creature with it and gain the freedom of movement spell, although you are then greased up.
Classic.
The other potion is a filter of love. A creature that drinks it will become charmed by the next creature it sees for 1 hour.
Well, Luthander doesn't need that.
No, but I look Lathander straight in the eye and say, I could get all of Tayleen's money for this. And then I explain what it does. Nate, when we search the bodies, I know we didn't say it, so I'm fine if it's not a retcon. If we don't want a retcon, I would like to... I know the third rule of the hanataz is you do not return to the scene of the crime, but I would like to see if there's any buckwheat demon tattoos on the 3 people we killed. I know I don't recall us saying that we looked for it. I kind of think we would. So if we can retcon it, great. If not, this is the one thing that would make Nevitz break the third rule of hanataz and return to the scene of the crime.
So knowing that things are about to get a lot worse for you, I'll give you the retcon. Yes, all 3 men had the buckwheat demon tattoo.
What was like worse? Wait, what?
Thank you for Kendra being the only one who's like, wait a minute, let's not think about the nice stuff he did at the end. Let's talk about that starting clause of that statement. Okay.
I thought we had it all under control.
Can I please just take a nap? Sorry, the 3 dead people did have the tattoo.
Yeah, the 3 did have the tattoo. So I'll assume we're somewhat out of town or somewhat out of the Carnevale, but we're kind of close. We've walked halfway. I guess now is time to discuss, and we can do this in character or we can do it out of character. I don't care. What is our way ahead? Like, we need to go in and check in to check out of work. I know you want a long rest more, but if we go to sleep right now, we won't be able to do anything until midnight before we get all of our recharged capabilities from a long rest. And we can still go down in the tunnel. There's so much mystery down there.
Can we go at midnight? What is it to be done with the daytime? Why can't we go at nighttime when we are fully rested?
Or suggestion, we hardtail it out of here. Right, that sounds like a splendid old plan.
I like that. We just
I know.
leave.
All right, yeah.
Well,
this is
Ade, you're so smart. I always said that about you.
I think not only right, but not only smart, but prophetic, because I believe the Bonturan Council is looking to break stakes and leave even before break of day. So if we want to find out what is possibly bringing the creeping death to the hanataz, we still need to get past our phobias, especially now that we know no one in our group has the sight, to ask the elders what this creeping death is. Because the secrets that might spell the downfall of the hanataz could be in that tunnel. And I've been thinking about this. There were 5 skulls. We found 2 dioceses, both of which had scrolls. I don't want to be greedy, but there might be 3 more temples down there to evil gods with scrolls.
Okay, just to unpack all of this, you want to go back to the tunnels where we all almost died. Is that correct?
I want to go back to the tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Where we all almost died.
Yeah. So
yeah.
It's not super germane to the immediate conversation. So this is should not change planning purposes. But I just to give Luthander a fair moment, because I don't want to cheat you out of clues you might have otherwise picked up. Give me a DC 15 history check.
15, 13 plus 2. Yes.
So as this is all going on, as you're listening to your Zati friends work through potential courses of action, it dawns upon you that you've seen illustrations that match the pattern on that glove before. You've actually seen that pattern before, just never in person and never actually anywhere in Verdestia in any shop, merchant, or any of the like. But you do recall seeing it in a book about the Dunahadrin, a sect of elves who are the sworn enemies of the hanataz, who are bound by religious oath to eradicate you from the face of Zyathe.
They sound lovely. We should all hang out.
For the for the Dungeons and Dragons fans in the crowd, The Dunahadreen are the drow of GUI Cube products.
Right. I will mention that. Do I know where they are generally residing? Like, are they a sect that's kind of everywhere? Or are they a sect that's in one part of Redestia, for instance?
So there's no reputable part of Redestia, of really the world, houses the Dunahadreen, but they are rumors to lurk in dark, forgotten, and forbidden places where they bide their time until the prophesied time when they can rise up and slay those who push them into the shadows.
So like tunnels at night. We should go do some tunnel investigation. Just like Moore suggested.
Well, don't they more so live in the Underdelve rather than some dank tunnels? I figured.
Yes, they do. Now, obviously, those dank tunnels sometimes lead to the Underdelve, so you're correct in that. Would you mind explaining to those who might not have read the handout what the Underdelve is there, Adwale?
Yeah.
For your fellow Zatis who may have fallen asleep during Brian's history class.
So the Underdelve, for our Dungeons and Dragons also people, is the Underdark. So the Underdelve houses are deep gnomes. Deep gnomes, the dark dwarf, the Dwargar type, but obviously different names for our setting here, but houses those types of people. And the god of the Underdelve is not something you want to mess with. So I suggest no.
Tunnel
Sounds
elves.
really interesting.
No, it sounds really, really bad for level 1 characters.
As we're having this conversation, I think Nevitz is looking up to Jericho, especially because what we haven't
You're still on my shoulders, so you're looking down.
Oh, okay. Sorry, looking down then to Jericho, because the one thing we also haven't talked about is the manifestations that Jericho has been having. And as opposed to bringing up that topic, I think it kind of feels like we're just doing all the airing of the major things. He's looking down to see, I assume Jericho's been listening, but just kind of seeing if she has a take one way or the other, or wants to inject maybe some additional points for consideration.
Sleep.
Jericho shrugs. Tunnels go pretty deep. The text appears to go I'm sure it begs investigation.
No. Why?
Nate, that strange blade, I guess it seems like Luthander knows about it, knows about the Underdelve. Can you say it one more time for pronunciation? The drow equivalent? Druahadine?
The Dunahadreen.
That strange weapon we found in the cache site, not the cache site.
The Seric. You're talking about the Seric blade?
Well, no, there was a Seric blade we found on the dwarf, but there was another strange weapon we found in the vault. Was that in any way Druahadine in nature, or is it something else? Can we do a collective whatever knowledge checks to kind of figure out where this comes from? And then if I know it's not magical, but is it something that we could wield? Is it worth wielding?
You're correct that it's not magical. It is a bladed weapon, longer than a short sword, shorter than a long sword. The make is clearly exotic, and you haven't seen a blade like it anywhere here, but you may have heard of similarly styled blades on the continents to the east.
Can Adwale make a smith check to see if he could recognize the make?
Sure, go for it.
Awesome.
I love that you have that skill.
18. 16 plus 2 proficiency.
Okay. So thank you, Adwale, for that. And because of your very niche knowledge, I actually had to go and crack open the book from
You're welcome.
The Encyclopedia the Zayathe, The Weirded World, which, of course, is available for sale at GUICube.com.
Oh, yeah. Selling point.
Well, yes, this particular blade is from the eastern continent of Estrenia, and you actually happen to identify the make based on some obscure manuals you've seen as something called a Wakazashi.
Oh, Luthander. It's a very nice blade you got
And
there.
the weebs rejoiced.
Oh, I want to case it. Can I case it?
What is the... Do we have the properties on that, Nate? Like, I think I know Wakazashi is a small katana, so scimitar-esque, but do we know what the properties are?
It's like the blade that samurais have used to, like, for more so for defense rather than attack, or maybe just to backhanded stab people. Is really not the main weapon. It's more of a just in case or defense.
And so the properties of this specific item, a GUI reward from the Darkest Dream adventure, it's a +1 to hit, 1d6 piercing with the finesse and light properties. So the finesse means you can use dexterity instead of strength to strike with it, and the light means that it can be used as an offhand weapon for dual wielding characters.
Interesting.
So mechanically, this is synonymous with the Serich short sword, correct? Light and finesse, 1d6.
That is correct.
I will, as a blade wielder, I would love to use either one of these.
Well, it seems pointless. Like, how do we? What's the best way for us to make the most of the weapons we've got?
So this does less damage than a rapier, less than a long sword. But for anyone who's using a short sword, they should use one of these two items. Scimitar's in the same boat.
I have an axe.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's...
dagger.
What's the damage on the axe?
D6, I think.
Okay, so then it's one of the... Yeah, so one of these can also go to Jericho as well.
Jericho has proficiency in short swords, I'm guessing. Right? As bards. Yeah, bards have proficiency in short swords, so they should.
Yep. Well, let's distribute them.
Well, whatever we do with it, don't lose it.
Okay, I will assume then I don't see getting up and doing that. And I know you've got a much better weapon, Adwale, and actually, as it turns out, Luthander does more damage. I'll grab the Wakazashi, and if you want to grab the Serich short sword, Jericho, you'd be doing an extra +1 to hit, and we'd be doing the same damage. So just pull short sword over and give it +1.
Yeah.
And then, so bookkeeping aside, this might get cut, it might stay, we don't know. Where does that still leave us? And I guess I would like to bring up the point again. I would like to have an open discussion about what divine intervention might be affecting Jericho with your recent manifestations of more powerful cantrips and the halo that came upon you when we were attacked by those paladins.
That sounds like a wonderful question, Nevitz, for Mother Sylvenza.
I certainly have no clue. The text of
I have no idea.
I'm fine to head to Mother Sylvenza. I mean, does that seem like... I mean, I know we just left her, but I also feel we just came to own a lot more information where dots are connecting. So it does make sense unless we have other options we want to pursue.
I also think we should have a long discussion with the council about everything we've had. And no point in making that discussion any longer by delving even further into a dank, musky tunnel that could lead to the Underdelve.
Well, my vote. So Luthander's starting to get a little bit nervous about this whole thing. So he will. I think everyone would know. It probably will have come up, but if not, he'll say to everyone that coming from being an escapee from Magdranog in the north, he has this like visceral sense of what can happen if you don't confront evil when as soon as possible. With the fall of Kalanta years ago, his people obviously have been enslaved by orcs for most of that time. So anyway, he wants to deal with this now. He doesn't. This is like the hanataz are his refuge. Like these are his people now, and he doesn't want the same thing to happen. So he wants to get down in the tunnels, he thinks, or whatever we got to do. So his strong vote is to do something.
And just Nate, so for above the board, I know the one person who wasn't in the. Actually, there's a couple people who were not in the room when that wizard told us Odal says to suck shit. I think that didn't seem like an important point until we just found out that the leader of the town is Lord Odal. So just to put into the mix of stuff we're discussing, we should all collectively know that there might be some connection between whatever magic disc Jericho found inside that psychedelic frog that had demonic magic in nature was possibly tied to Odal, the Lord of Nevermore.
I've forgotten that.
And again, to be fair, there are so many threads going on, so don't feel bad. This is why it's good to have note takers and people who are paying attention. There's lots of different ways this could go, but the hour is growing late in the game, in the day. Obviously, you should know since you haven't had a chance to rest since then.
Right. And we need that rest. We really need that rest.
I think above Jericho's head, the text continues to scroll. Perhaps Sylvenza should meet with the door. I'm sure the two of them could reach some interesting conclusions about what's going on.
I think that's a terrible idea. No offense to you, Jericho. Odal can suck shit.
I would like to at least say that Jericho's idea does have some possibilities, since if there is anyone that they might accept it would be the leadership. I understand your desire to protect grandmother, but as long as there is some vanguard that goes with her, I think maybe she is the only person who could talk to Lord Odal.
I also think that we shouldn't needlessly put our family members in risk of danger, no matter how much defense they have. But I'm just one voice of many. The point is now we should, at this moment, return home to collect ourselves.
Now that I agree with.
It's a fine idea. All right then, so with a tentative agreement to at least return back to the Carnivalle for the moment, the group of the zatis emerge from the woods up at the northeast side of the camp. And there, near the colorful tent of jests, you see the old priest Anton waving for you. It says, oh, there you are. I heard that you found the candles that we can use for my ritual.
Yes. They have been found. Who has the candles on them? I don't.
I think Nevitz pulls them out of his bag and does hand them over.
I thought it was more that had them.
Here's your stupid candles. I hand it over.
Wow, it's a lot more fun when Moore does it.
So Anton, a bit cluelessly, I'm not sure how you convinced Columbina to give them back to you, but I'm grateful. I can't take any more of those pranks. It's just not my poor heart is just not ready for any more shocks. Do you want to come with? Perhaps this man that you've rescued might have some information that would be of use to you.
Yes, I would like to come with. Please. For my sake.
Yeah, why don't me and Ede take this unconscious man and then you all can go see Mother Sylvenza.
I think it's always a smart idea for us to split the party. That seems to always go well.
Yeah, we always get so much stuff done. Nothing ever goes wrong. I think it's a great idea.
Okay. So Nevitz wants to go to Mother He wants to go to both places, but he would pick Mother Sylvenza.
Who's going where?
I'm Sylvenza. To talk to her.
I'm avoiding Mother Sylvenza, so I'm gonna go talk to this dead or unconscious guy.
I'll follow more unconscious guy.
Adwale, what's your vote?
Adwale has some other intentions with the Sundestrian.
But that's...
He's going to Sundestrian.
Really...
We're going for a three-way
split. Okay, I was about to say that the way you said that, it sounded really like... You want to beat this guy up, or was he like a romantic interest? I mean,
yo,
I'm happy to go whatever way you want to go with this. It's your,
we're golden on
adventure.
that. It's not anything like that.
Eat him?
I'm the.
So much for not being cannibals.
Looking his chops.
Never defeating
Sometimes
those
you just gotta lean into the
allegations.
stereotype, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to say to the priests that we don't use dead people for sausages. So,
Hey, you ought to do what you gotta do to
yeah.
Then this might work out really well. I think Jericho and I will keep the purse from the Sudestan man with us, and if he asks, can we search inside that pouch? We keep finding notes in coin pouches. Jericho, have you had a chance to search the pouch you took off the man? Is it anything beyond coins or just coins?
I'm gonna rummage around inside it.
The pouch with the herbs inside?
From the Sinestриan.
No. Jericho took the pouch off the Sudestan man.
Sudestan? Was it Sudestan? I thought it was Sinestria.
Yep.
Sundestan, I think.
Yeah. Sudestan. So there was just coins in that pouch.
Okay, then yes. So if Jericho keeps that on her person, I think it's best that we depart, and we will reconvene at the. Is there a Zati bar? Like I don't know where we.
Let me check the pouch one more time to make sure I'm not cheating on something. I think that Lathander has a point of.
Yep. I'm going to, with a flourish, pull the dagger out and just stab it into the ground to see what happens. It's worked for me a few times.
Do me a favor and roll a D100 there, Lathander.
Oh my god, if you strike oil or something, I'm gonna lose my shit.
That's 40.
You are tempting the gods right now.
I actually didn't think anything would happen. Seriously. I was like, oh.
So, Lathander, you go and you just take the dagger. It's now completely inert, normal, not in any way enchanted dagger that's been confirmed by 2 spellcasting compatriots. And as you go and just stick it in the ground, you feel the ground, the blade slide off of something as if it hit something solid.
Oh no!
And you see that there's a glass vial that someone had dropped that had been covered over loosely by dirt. you just happen to luck into finding.
Oh,
great.
Okay, seeing that, because we were the 2 spellcasters, and we know that there's no magic on this dagger anymore. Can I go to...
Nevitz left, so it's... Nevitz and Jericho are off, so it's just you more. And as you want to protest, you hear a familiar yip, woof, woof, of the dog you found earlier, happily trotting up to just sit right next to your leg and look up at you with big goo eyes, tail wagging excitedly.
Okay, before I talk to this dog, I want to go to punch Luthander, because I don't think it's the dagger that's making Luthander lucky. I think Luthander is cursed. So I want to see what happens. I'll just go to the dog. Hold on 1 second. This is really important. And then I go to swing at Luthander.
Okay, make a attack roll.
Okay. What is unarmed again? It's like...
Strength.
Your strength, so 15. Does a 15 hit?
Yeah, 15 on the class.
So it only does your strength bonus of damage.
Oh, so what happens if it's -2?
Oh,
so you go to
yeah.
As you go, you wind up and punch Lathander in the arm as hard as you can, and you feel something bend the wrong way in your knuckles.
I just point accusingly at Luthander. Okay, something's wrong with you. Very wrong.
Not according to Taylene.
And on that note, as Nevitz as Nevitz and Jericho go to approach Mother Salvenza's tent, little Vezi is standing there outside. Oh, you're back. We were expecting you.
Vezi, do you say that every time someone walks up to the tent?
She shakes her head instantly, says, "No, only when I've had a dream about them dying."
Is this about the gooey cube thing that Luthander was obsessing about?
She nods eagerly.
I know better than to ask more follow-up questions because he found them very frustrating. Before we go in, why was Mother Salvenza looking for our party?
She said that there was something that came over her, like a chill, some bad feeling, like you were in danger, but That's kind of weird because you seem fine right now. So what's going on back with Adwale and Luthander?
Well, I'm eagerly waiting for the Sundestin man to wake up.
Okay, so Adwale you happen to be walking side by side with Anton as he's eagerly holding the candles. Like, oh, it would be such a relief on my nerves when we finally aided this poor man. And as he opens the tent and he pulls back the partition to where they laid this poor fellow down, and it looks like he's lying there where you left him, except his throat has been slit from ear to ear. That's where we'll pause for the week.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm still convinced that Vezi says that every time someone walks up to the tent. Seeresses do it. It's just their thing. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us on Visions, Veiled and Violent, a D&D actual play of GUICube's Darkest Dream adventure from the Red Star Rising campaign. Check out all their amazing content at GUICube.com. Also, a special thanks to Tabletop Audio for providing the fantastic music that accompanied this episode. If you enjoyed what you heard today, please like, rate, and subscribe to us wherever you get your podcast. And, if you can, help us out by supporting us at Patreon. Remember, you don't know the burden others have carried to arrive at your gaming table, so be kind. Safe travels until next week, when we return to Visions, Veiled and Violent.